The NFL season is here, and we have a bunch of really cool new tools for football here at Stokastic.com that we could not be more excited to show you all. And this is going to start with our Sims tool. I'm sure a lot of you expected we are going to have it for football as we've had it for golf and also for baseball over the summer. But something I've been asked a lot about that I'm sure has been on your mind, are we going to have Sims tool for showdown slates? The answer is yes. We are going to be supporting showdown slates in our simulation tools for football season. And something else that's massive for our site as well is we now have the ability to build lineups right at Stokastic.com. So we have a couple of different packages for our football data tools. One is going to be the base package. And what you do with the base package, you could build up to 500 lineups in our contest generator. But if you have the max package, that's going to allow you to build up to 10,000 lineups in our contest generator. Now, what you could do from this page, and I've already built out 10,000 lineups to display to you guys here, and it's super fast. It takes on average about 60 seconds to build up to 10,000 lineups. Now, what you could do from this page is you could click simulate lineups, and this will bring you to the contest sim page, and it's already going to have all these lineups in a file for you. You just press sim slate, and then it's going to sim all these lineups for you. We'll get to that in a second. But first, what are the different features that are involved here in the contest generator? Well, here is what you could do in terms of customizing some of the lineups that you've built. We have a tab here that's going to say stack type exposures, and I went with a little bit of a mix here where I built 10% of lineups that have no stacks with the QB, and then I have some here with 1 stack, 2 stacks, and then triple stacks as well. And then once you have these 10,000 lineups built out, if you don't want to sim the lineups, you don't have to. You can export them from this page, but something else that you could do with this is you could also rank your lineups. So if you want to find out which lineups are best just based on projection, you could do this. I have this weighted right here for 60% projection, 40% ownership, and then you could sort them in this ranking column here, and it'll sort your lineups so you can tell you that based on the different levers you pulled here in terms of the projection rank percentage, ownership rank percentage, it'll tell you how your lineups rank overall. Now, also, if you want to customize your lineups even a little bit more than this, go into the players column here. And what you could do is build out another set of lineups, and you'll see here that you got your pool exposure. This is how many lineups are, how much exposure you have to each individual player in your lineups. And then this is the ownership. So that's our projected ownership for the slate, and just the difference between the two. Let's say you built out your lineups and you decided you want more Tyreek Hill. Well, you could boost his ownership up to 3 times. And then once you click it a 4th time, it's going to reset to the base. And then once you build out another set of lineups, it's going to give you more Tyreek Hill if that is how you want to increase the amount of exposure you're getting to him in the lineups that you've built out. So this is the base functionality of the contest generator. Like I said, it's going to work for main slates as well as for showdown, and then also for slates like the turbo slates, the afternoon slates. That's all going to be included in all of our tools here. And then, of course, also we have it supported for DraftKings, FanDuel, and then also Owner's Box, which is a new partner of ours that we're very excited about. So then after you've built your lineups in the contest generator, you head on over to the pre-contest simulator. And now over here, you see all the lineups that I just built. They're all included here. They've been simulated out 40,000 times. So what happens is all the lineups that you built, they play against each other 40,000 times. And then based on those results, it is going to tell you of the lineups that you built, this is how they performed against each other in a tournament setting. So something else you could do as well when you're simming out your lineups is whatever contest it is that you're going to be playing in, you could change the payout structure based on what percentage is going to be going to first place. So if it's a really flat contest with 5 or 10%, that is going to give you different results than a top heavy payout that might pay out, 30% or 25% to first. If I'm not mistaken, week 1 DraftKings Million Maker does pay out 20% to first place, $5 million prize pool, $1 million to first. So now once you're on this page, you can favorite as many lineups as you want. And once you do right here, favorite at 150, you can check out your exposures for those individual lineups. Now, one difference between the base version of our subscription package and the max version is when you go to export the lineups. If you're on the base version, the max that you could export is 20 from this page. But if you're at our max package, you could export as many as you want. You want to export 10,000 lineups, go ahead if you're on the max package. So right here, I just favorited 150 lineups. If you wanted to just export them, you do that right here. It'll give you a file with all 150 lineups. So you could upload to DraftKings or FanDuel. And then here in this exposures tab, it's going to tell you all of the players that you ended up getting exposure to, what percentage of them of your top 150 lineups. So I ended up as my most exposed player here. Jamal Williams wind up in 57.3% of these lineups. He's projected for 10.3% ownership. So the leverage, I'm overweight to the field to him. I have 46.7 more percentage of him than what the field has of him. Some other things you can look up here is the individual fantasy point projection of the individual players, as well as what the ROI is for each individual player in those simulations that we ran. You could also look at your stack exposures here. So if you guys remember the lineups that I built, I made 10% no stacks. I made 30% double stacks. I made 30% single stacks and 30% triple stacks. One thing that you'll see here that's kind of interesting, of my top 150 lineups, not very many of them ended up being the triple stacks, actually none of them. As far as the top projected lineups here for the stacks to the QB, and then the individual amount of exposure I got to of each of these different stack types with that QB, and overall it's going to add up to 100% when you include the lineups that are the non-stack lineups. Some other features that are in here: stack ROI. You could look at all the individual stack ROIs for the different quarterbacks and then the combinations. Player ROI, so different individual player ROIs based on the lineups you simulated, how profitable were each individual players. And then, of course, back on the starting page, your lineups here, which is going to show you the simulated player ROI, the simulated lineup ROI, the projected fantasy score of the lineups, the total ownership, what stack type it is, which teams you stack, everything that you guys need to be a profitable NFL DFS player, you're going to find in our new NFL package. And all of our data packages, it includes the contest generator, it includes the sim tools. So come join us. Stop guessing, start winning, join Stokastic today.